January 1st. You know exactly how this goes. The gym is packed, everyone has a plan, everyone has a goal, everyone is fired up in a way that feels different this time. Really different. This time it is actually gonna happen. And you tell people about it. Your family at dinner, your friends over the phone, maybe you even post about it. And in that moment, the moment you say it out loud, something happens in your chest that feels like rocket fuel. You can already see it. The version of you 3 months from now, 6 months from now. You can feel it so clearly it almost feels like it already happened. And then February comes. The gym gets quieter, and by March, you are one of the people who stopped going. And the worst part is not the quitting. The worst part is running into the people you told. Let me tell you something about myself. I've done this more times than I want to admit. I decided to get fit. I told people about it. I started strong, woke up early, changed what I ate, felt genuinely good about it. And then the late night cravings came. The mood swings, the financial stress sitting on my chest, making it hard to care about anything else. The motivation that felt so loud in January, going quieter and quieter until one day I realized I had not worked out in 3 weeks and I did not know exactly when it stopped. And I had told people. That part never leaves you quietly, but that is not even the biggest one for me. Since 2021, I've wanted to start a business. I told my friends, I told my family, I had the idea, the energy, the vision, and then I put my money into the stock market just to grow the capital a little more before starting. And then the market did what markets do, and the business is still not started. And the people I told, they remember. I know they remember because I remember telling them. And for a long time, I thought this was just me, a personal flaw, a pattern in my own character that I needed to fix. Until I started paying attention and realized almost everyone I know is living some version of this same story. There is a psychological phenomenon called substitution satisfaction, and when I first read about it, it genuinely made me angry because it explained everything. Here is how it works. When you tell someone about a goal, when you announce it, describe it, get the reaction, your brain receives a small but very real hit of dopamine. The same dopamine it was supposed to get when you actually achieved the thing. Your brain, in that moment of telling, partially registers the goal as already done. The announcement becomes the reward, and so the hunger that was supposed to drive you towards the actual work gets quietly fed by telling alone. You did not lack discipline, you did not lack commitment, and your brain literally stole the reward before you even earned it. And nobody told you that was happening. In 2009, a researcher named Peter Gollwitzer ran a series of experiments at New York University that tested exactly this. He took two groups of people with the same goals. One group announced their intentions to others, the other group kept quiet and just started working. The group that announced their goals felt more satisfied immediately after telling, and then worked significantly less towards actually achieving them. The group that stayed silent felt less satisfied upfront, but worked harder and achieved more. The announcement created an illusion of progress. The silence created actual progress. Here is another layer nobody talks about. When you announce something big, something that genuinely excites you, you announce it from the highest point of your motivation, the peak, the moment when everything feels possible and the obstacles feel small. But motivation is not a flat line, it is a wave. And the moment life introduces the actual difficulty, the late nights, the financial pressure, the setbacks that were never in the plan, the gap between the confident person who made the announcement and the exhausted person living the reality becomes impossible to ignore. And that gap has a name: shame. Not failure, shame. The specific feeling of having been seen as someone capable of something and then privately believing you are not. And shame, unlike failure, does not make you try harder. Shame makes you go quiet, avoid the topic, change the subject when it comes up, stop talking to the people who heard you say it. Shame shrinks you. And then there is the thing that nobody wants to say out loud because it sounds like an excuse even when it is completely true. Sometimes life just gets in the way. Not because you are weak, not because you did not want it enough, but because you are a human being living a human life with financial pressure and mental health and relationships and circumstances that do not pause because you have a goal. The person who quit the gym was not lazy. They were exhausted in the ways gym could not fix. The person whose business never started was not uncommitted. They were fighting battles that nobody who heard the announcement ever knew about it. The plan did not die because you were not enough. The plan died because the ground shifted and nobody teaches you how to rebuild the foundation while still trying to build the house. So here's the real problem. We live in a world that celebrates the announcement. Social media was literally built for it. The post about the new journey, the caption about the new chapter, the story about the big decisions, the comments flooding in with fire emojis, and you've got this, and I'm proud of you. And every single one of those reactions, every like, every comment, every proud reaction from someone who loves you is feeding your brain the reward it was supposed to get at the finish line before you have taken a single real step. The world told you that speaking your dreams into existence was power, and in some ways it is, but nobody told you that speaking them too loud, too early, and to too many people can quietly drain the very fuel that was supposed to get you there. You were not jinxed by the universe, you were undermined by your own dopamine. Now, I'm not going to tell you to never share your dreams with anyone. That is not the answer either, because isolation is its own kind of dream killer, and there are people in your life whose belief in you is genuinely part of what keeps you going on the days when you do not believe in yourself. But here is what actually changes things. Be more careful about who you tell and when. Tell the people who will hold you accountable, not just the ones who will celebrate the announcement. There is a difference between someone who says, "That is amazing, I'm so excited for you, I'm so proud of you," and someone who says, "Okay, so what is your first step and when are you doing it?" You need less of the first kind of reaction and more of the second. And tell people after you have already started, not before, not at the idea stage, not at the excitement stage, after the first real step has been taken, when the plan has already survived contact with reality. That is when sharing it actually builds momentum instead of stealing it. Let the work speak first, then let the people in. I still want to start that business. I'm still figuring out the fitness. The plans that did not happen the way I announced them, they did not disappear. They just got humbled. They got realer. They stopped being announcement and started being something quieter and more honest that I carry with me without needing anyone else to know about it yet. And maybe that is actually the point. The dreams that are really yours, the ones that are not about impressing anyone or getting the reaction or feeling the rush of being believed in, those ones do not need an audience to survive. They just need you to keep going when nobody is watching. Stop announcing. Start building. Let the first result be the loudest thing you say. And when someone asks you what you have been up to, show them. Do not tell them. Show them.